congratulations. Got to spend a bit of time with you out on the field today. What did he have to say?
Obviously didn't get to train today, but it was awesome being able to see everyone train and had a bit of a chat to the coaches and stuff, and sort of taking in training and everything and getting ready for Wednesday, where we'll hopefully hit the track first.
And what did you take out of the, being on the field surrounded by the senior boys and having a chat with the coach? Was quite surreal?
Yeah, definitely. Something that we have all envisioned for so long, and to finally be out there and watch a lot of people, that you looked up to and learned a lot from, is really surreal.
Yeah.
Did you young fellas spend a lot of time around the club growing up?
Not a lot, but enough to know the players and have a friendship with them.
How long has it been your dream to be part of the Collingwood Football Club, and what does it feel like now that you're here?
Yeah, ever since I probably started playing football, it was a dream to play at the elite level. And ever since as I've progressed in my years, that love's only got stronger.
And Callum, on the back of your 2016 season, how confident were you of landing at Collingwood? I mean, there was a scare at North Melbourne.
Obviously I was hopeful that I'd end up at Collingwood, but you can't be too confident, I guess, until your name really gets read out on draft night. So I was sort of just waiting there like the other three boys here. So it was a great experience to finally end up here, I guess.
Callum, what advice has your dad given you?
Yeah, obviously speak to Dad quite a bit about footy. So I use him up quite a bit for all that stuff, and he's sort of just all about hard work, and he was pretty happy for me to create my own legacy as well and go different to his number. Obviously I've had two, so yeah.
And Josh, how are you going to cope with Collingwood boys comparing you with
Yeah, it is the inevitable. I can only play my best football and give it my best crack, and hopefully that warrants the discussion. But it doesn't really faze me.
Josh, have you spent much time actually looking at your dad's highlight reel from the years gone by?
No, I haven't. Dad doesn't really talk about his football life, so I haven't watched much of his film, only snippets of his highlights.
I mean, the fact that so many of us that remember Peter playing, his highlights reel is amongst the best in league history. Do you see that as inspiring, or in some ways perhaps intimidating?
Definitely inspiring. He was definitely good at what he did, so that only inspires me to really give it my best go.
Did you desperately want him to play for Collingwood? Did you leave it up to him?
When he was, as he was growing up, and I was obviously following his career from a young fellow, I was pretty low key about it, and I guess you're always hopeful because it would have been nice at the time, but I guess I had to wait to see if he had any ability for a start. And then when I thought he had a bit of ability, then I guess I had thoughts of, look, it would be nice, but there's just so many young boys out there, isn't there, that they're all aspiring to do the same thing. So it's a pretty tough gig, and so to be sitting here today, it's really it's more pleasing for Callum than anything, because all the boys, they put in so much hard work, and then for them to get an opportunity on a list, I'm just really pleased for him. Yeah.
What did you think when the club that you now work for did for your son?
Well, it was a bit of a surprise. I was a bit shocked actually, because I was actually watching to see who they were going to pick, and because when I left work, they sort of didn't give me any inclination at all. So I was sort of sitting there thinking, hang on a minute, it's North. Yeah, so it was a bit of a shock, to be honest. And then when Collingwood read his name out, it was just, look, to just get an opportunity at an AFL football club is what everyone wants, but then it's pretty special, to be able to, I guess, come down and play at the place where his father played. So yeah, it was really special.
What's it like to finally be sitting here today and that it's happened?
I'm a lot like Rowdy, it's not something you always think about it, but it's not something we talked about. And I suppose the process. We're always hoping, sort of without putting too much pressure on Josh, hoping that he'd land here. But we understand the process and sort of the play of the clubs on trying to recruit and draft players. So, Friday night, very happy. having a few beers certainly helped, and then, but it really didn't hit home until sort of Saturday, Sunday, and really the enormity of it is really starting to sink in. Look, we're really excited and really stoked by just him being here. So yeah, very, very happy.
Peter, do you see any similarities to Josh in the way he goes about his footy?
Look, that's hard. That's always for someone else to. You'll make your own assumptions on that. It's a bit hard. I mean, I can't tell you the sort of style I sort of portrayed. I mean, I was a midfielder when I started and ended up playing as that static forward sort of, into my 30s. But yeah, look, I think he can play. He's a midfielder, but can kick a goal. Sit him across half back. He keeps his feet. His skill sets are good, so no difference in any of the boys here. Sammy and Kyle, I've watched them play as well, and very capable. Kayle, so yeah, I think, and I think coming into the sort of landscape here and the platform, and training every day and handling a football every day, and then you throw in all the other things that come into play. Yeah, I can see him sort of really coming on.
Have you showed him how to do any trick goals, any on the ground, anything?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Look, we've done a lot of touch stuff, and I'd be lying if I didn't show him a couple of the tricks. Sitting on boundaries, but. It's like any of the kids growing up. They wanted to take the big mark and take the specky and run to the boundary and kick that goal. So I think he's more in tune with football today, contemporary football, and that's centering the ball. That's something I didn't think about too much.
How do you think the boys will go with that, I guess, the extra pressure that they will have, the extra attention that will come with being the father-sons?
Yeah, I think it can be either, and we've spoken about this, it can either be, it's going to earn you a couple of opportunities, and it can either be your greatest ally or your greatest foe. And I think that, people say that, the pressure he may be under, but pressure sometimes is a good thing, because it will make you probably work a little bit harder to live up to that pressure. So, yeah, Rowdy probably has his thoughts on it, but yeah, I think it can be a good thing for him if it's used the right way.
Peter, Josh mentioned that he's seen very little of your highlights. Really, is that something that you've been conscious of in trying to protect him from that sort of expectation?
Well, right from the outset, I sort of memorabilia around the house, and I separated my career from being dad, I suppose, being a father, and I wanted to separate that, and yeah, so we sort of drew the line in the sand in respect to that, and sort of it didn't need to be too serious. So I just want him to enjoy his football and carve out his pathway, in relation to that. So yeah, it wasn't something that we went out of our way to do.
So Sam's obviously our first draft pick this year at number 30. Tell us a little bit about your journey throughout the season and some of the challenges you had to overcome yourself to get to where you are now.
Yeah, look, I played at Oakley this year, and it's a great club. They've given me nothing but support, and I'm just extremely grateful for everything they've done for me. Also went to Yarra Valley Grammar and got a few games there in the ones, and yeah, look, again, Yarra Valley, a great school, and I'm just really grateful. And school footy is about playing with your mates, and that's the way I approached it. Unfortunately, I had a bit of an injury, and I ended up missing half the season as a result. But yeah, look, I've just had nothing but support over this year, and I'm just incredibly grateful for everything.
Sam, we've heard about your earpiece. It's a remarkable story, but I guess not so much for you. You've always played with it. It's not a hurdle to overcome. It's just part of your daily life, is it?
Yeah, look, it's just who I am. It's the way it has been. It's the way it always will be. So yeah, look, I know no different, and my family knows no different as well. So yeah, whether it's a great story is up to you, but I just live my life as normal as I can, and just enjoy every bit of it. Footy's no different.
I've heard you've got incredible peripheral vision. Is that something to do with your ear as a youngster you had to, I guess, be more aware?
Truthfully, I'm not sure. It's just the way it has been, I suppose. And yeah, look, I guess I do have to rely a lot more on my eyesight as opposed to my hearing. But when 80,000 people packed in the MCG, I don't think hearing's too important. So, but yeah, look, I suppose I do rely a lot on eyesight and the peripheral vision.
So how's the shoulder holding up, and we sort of expect to be ready to play semi-footy pretty early on?
Yeah, look, the shoulder's holding up really well. To answer that question, I should be back into full training as soon as just in a couple of weeks' time. So yeah, look, I'm really happy with how that's progressing. I think the medicos are too. Just saw them today and got to know them. So yeah, look, it's coming along well, and it should be right.
What about to get the number 35? Obviously, as Gary said, it's a number that's got quite a lot of meaning here. What does that mean to you to wear that jumper?
Yeah, look, I did a bit of research over the weekend, and look, I'm just so honoured, to be honest. Like, people like Peter Daicos and Presty as well, both great footballers, but also even better people. So look, I hope I can live up to the expectations and standards that they can, that they set, and look, it's something I'll hold with me for the rest of my life. I'm just really grateful.
What do you think when your name was read out?
I was actually at the pub, mate, when I heard that. So, no, I was back and forth because I was with family and friends, and most of them were in the pokies. So, and it was bet probably on 44 or something like that, and so I went in to have a check if they were winning or something. Then they came back out and I was on 47, and it was either the Dogs or Collingwood I was hoping to go to. So I thought I'd stay out, and had my brother and one mate and sitting there, and sure enough, just heard the TV because they only turned up only a little bit, and yeah, Kirby, made sure my name came up and jumped out. No. And then shook everyone's hand and went into the pokies and looked at my family, and
You were definitely drinking lemonade.
yeah. Yeah, I was. No, I had to buy mine the rest of that night. Yeah, so as I went into pokies, everyone looked at me and said I got drafted, and they all jumped around me, and it was a bit emotional, but that's the whole point of it, mate.
Not sure if you've had much of a chance to speak to Bucks yet, but where do you see yourself fitting into Collingwood's lineup?
So I don't know. Hopefully in round one, kicking goals.
What position do you reckon?
As a forward, but hopefully get to the midfield later on.
Was it always been a dream of yours, AFL, or is it something that's...
The last probably 3 years, I've watched the sport and, seeing Aborigines play the sport, and we're national gifted, and it's very rarely that we, Aboriginals get drafted. And, I've made a decision one day I should try, and sure enough, I did. I just didn't do it for myself, I did it for my family and my mob. So.
They must be extremely proud. Sorry, they must be extremely proud.
More proud than I am, to be honest. They were very proud.
How much did you play for Richmond a couple of times considered the league?
After those 2 games, I would have thought I had a good chance of getting drafted, and lucky enough I did.
Who's your rival?
Adam Goods. Just the way he went about it. I just love his footy.
Sam, you played at both ends of the ground, but obviously Collingwood lost a few key defenders. Do you expect to be spending a lot of time in defence over the next couple of years?
Look, that's up to the coaches. I'm very easy. I just want to be on the ground, to be honest, and I'll take any role that the club gives me or teaches me to play. And look, I think I can play either end. So I'm just really looking forward to it.
Kayle, you mentioned Adam Goods. Can you talk us through sort of how he became a hero and sort of how much when he inspired you the most?
He's just one of the greats to the game, to be honest. Just the way he just went about footy, not only to being a forward, to being an absolute gun in the midfield, and especially I think 2 Brownlows, I think it was. So just no one better than to choose him. Yeah.
Have you had a chance, all of you, to meet all your teammates yet? What have they said to you?
Yeah, we've all met them. Most of everyone. I think after this we'll go have one-on-ones with most of them. So we've met most everyone pretty much. So yeah.
Josh, do you find it all strange that you're wearing Gavin's number?
Yeah, it is. I'm definitely very honoured to wear the number 26 that Gavin wore. So, from what Dad's told me, he was a tremendous player.